Welcome to a new series that I will be handling over the next couple of weeks on emotional intelligence. I'm Charity Kirigo Kagwaini. I am a life coach, and as I have always said, it's a great joy to come on this platform and just engage and share some thoughts on the things that I have learned, over the years. As I have journeyed, this journey of life, as I have gathered knowledge and as I have, learned from people, every one of us has a light. And if only we let our light shine, if I bring out my light and you bring out your light, it will mean that we will learn from one another. So I believe there is something that I can bring on board so that you can learn. And equally, there is something that you bring on board that I can learn. So let's take this journey on the topic of emotional intelligence. And this is a topic that is often discussed in many forums. A lot of times we will handle, the topic when it comes to organizations, institutions, and we are taught this and we are taught that. But many times we also don't pause and think about emotional intelligence from, a very personal perspective. So I'm hoping that as we look into, the next couple of weeks, you're able to pick a lesson or two on how to become emotionally intelligent, so that we can all become better people and, serve better and add value to one another. So let's dive into it. And I will begin this session with asking three main questions. 1, what are emotions? 2, where do emotions come from? And number 3, so what's the big deal about emotions? Just for a moment, imagine what this world would be without emotions. We would be like trees, maybe like houses, maybe like cars. We would not feel, we would not experience our environment. It would be boring. It would be hard, like stones. So we are grateful that, our Creator created emotions and put them in us. And so emotions are part of the body's ecosystem, the flesh and blood that we all have. They are part of the body's ecosystem. And that is why even plants, animals, and even newborn babies, have emotions. When a child is born, they're able to express their emotions, in crying when they're displeased, when they're uncomfortable, when they're angry, they express their emotions. We hear animals when they are happy, when, they are hungry, there are certain cries they make. It's an expression of their emotions. So emotions basically are biological and chemical reactions in our bodies. And they are as a response to either internal or external triggers or stimuli within our environment. And emotions are the result of our brain and our bodies working together to try and understand and react to what is in our environment. In other words, emotions are like you don't decide. They are part of your body. They are part of the biological processes. They are part of the chemical processes in our bodies. They are part of the work of the brain. They are part of, the entire body ecosystem. So I can't do away with emotions. Now, researchers, and again, this one is, information that I gathered from, just the online platforms that we are all on. And so, these numbers may vary. But researchers show us and tell us that in a day we experience about approximately 400 emotions. You imagine for 24 hours you experience 400 emotions? And if you take 400 emotions, one person, and there is 8 billion people of us in this world, everyone experiencing emotions and everyone, behaving this way and that way. That would explain why, the world is sort of chaotic. Huh? And now you begin to probably understand why emotional intelligence is so important and so central to the lives of human beings. And so what is a big deal about emotions if they are natural? They are, it's not like you go and put them on and off, they are natural processes. So what's the big deal about emotions? Why is it that we must even begin to discuss, this topic on emotional intelligence, whether it's at a personal level, whether we are having this conversation, from a family perspective, whether we are having this conversation from an institution, an organization, a corporation. Why is emotional intelligence such a big deal? The challenge is the way our brain is hardwired, it gives emotions an upper hand over logic and rationale. And that is why you will find sometimes people get overtaken by their emotions and then they behave in an irrational way. They are not using logic, and sometimes they will do things that are foolish. Sometimes they will do things that are regrettable. They will do things and you look at somebody and you wonder what just happened to that human being, It is because the way our brain works, it gives emotions an upper hand over logic. So when we have this conversation about emotional intelligence, it means that we are therefore reworking so that we can create a balance, where logic and rationale has an upper hand over our emotions. It's sort of like re-engineering, the brain, so that when you experience 400 emotions in a day, your brain is re-engineered so that now logic and rationale, has an upper hand over your emotions. And, getting that balance is not a walk in the park. It's not something that you can, it can just happen. It takes work, it takes intention, it takes commitment. And so, it's just like going to school, for you to get schooled about something or for you to learn a new skill, you have to take time to learn the ropes of, that skill. So even emotional intelligence is the same thing. It just doesn't happen because you've decided that you're going to use rationale and logic. There are certain things that you probably need to rework within yourself. And again, because we have a past, every one of us has some past, that causes these imbalances. Every one of us has a present, there are things, there are challenges that are always triggering, that always trigger our emotions. And we are anxious about the future. So creating that balance is not just as obvious. And so as we have this discussion on emotional intelligence, I will be, glad to hear what your thoughts are. And let's learn together and let's journey on.